So at this point, Moses has run to Midian. He's gone. He decided to leave his hometown because they were trying to kill him. They said, "What are you doing?" Pharaoh said, "We're going to kill you. You killed an Egyptian." So he left and went to Midian. So this is where he's at. This is where he's been at. He's been there, got married, and is a shepherd. Okay, so some time has passed, and let's catch up and see how much time has passed. After a long time, we're in Exodus chapter 2, verse 23. If you want to follow and listen and read, it says, after a long time. So even who wrote this feels like 40 years was a long time. And their cry for help because of the slavery kept going up to the true God. In time, God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So God looked on the Israelites, and God took notice. Moses now has waited a long time. The Israelites now have waited a long time. And this is what's about to happen. So let's look at chapter 3. We're going to go to chapter 3. We're going to skip around a bit. We're not going to read everything. Again, I don't want these to be too long. We just want to hit the main points. Okay? Let's hit the point of the burning bush. Chapter 3, Exodus chapter 3, verse 2. Then Jehovah's angel appeared to him in a flame of fire in the midst of a thorn bush. As he kept looking, he saw the thorn bush was on fire, and yet the thorn bush was not consumed. So Moses said, I will go over and inspect this unusual sight to see why the thorn bush has not burnt up. When Jehovah saw that he went over to look, God called to him out of the thorn bush and said, Moses, Moses. To which he said, Here I am. Then he said, Do not come any nearer. Remove your sandals from your feet, because the place where you are standing is holy ground. So again, let's think about the mindset, okay? Here is another miraculous event, or just a miraculous happening in Moses' life, which could make a person think a particular type of way. If these things are happening to you, you could be like, man, I'm favored. Like, I see things. I've been blessed, right? You could easily go in that direction. I just want to highlight that. Because this all ties into why he had to wait 40 years, why this relates to us, and how should your behavior be in certain situations. So look, we'll skip down a little bit. Moses hit his face. We're down in the middle of verse 6. We're going to go down to verse 7. Jehovah added, I have certainly seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and I have heard their outcry because of those who force them to work. I well know the pains they suffer. I will go down to rescue them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land to a land good and spacious, a land flowing with milk and honey. Now look, the outcry of the people of Israel has reached me, and I have seen also the harsh way that the Egyptians are opposing them. Now come, I will send you to Pharaoh, and you will bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. Now you got to really sit here and think. Again, we done went over, if you look at the first video, we done went over how Moses looked, how his life done went, the education he had, all of that. Probably physical abilities, all of that. Okay? All of that. Now it has been 40 years, which means he done went up in age. So that also matured him a little bit. Made him think about things a little differently. Maybe he wasn't as physically capable as he once used to be. Maybe that was necessary. But look, however, Moses said to the true God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt. That's, you really gotta pay attention to that, because he could have been like, finally, man, you late. you about 40 years late, man. You should have been here. I was already on that. What you doing? Thank you though, but man, I was ready. I was ready. What happened? Where were you at that time? I was ready. He could have said all of that. No, his immediate response was, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? So let's cap it right there. And obviously we know the rest of what happened. Okay? There's a lot that went on, and a lot that Moses had to do and go through, right? He was ready at that particular time. Now, why did he have to wait 40 years is the question. Because it took him 40 years. It took him 40 years to come to that type of mindset. Who am I to be saving the Egyptians out of the hands of Pharaoh? He wouldn't have said that. He wouldn't have said that. He didn't. He jumped ahead, was like, yeah, let me go ahead and kill an Egyptian because I know they wrong. I know they not doing right. I'm finna take care of this. No. Wasn't time. Wasn't his time. Wasn't even the Israelites' time. Everything, and I really want you to pay attention to that, because everything is mathematical. Okay? Everything is math. He had to wait 40 years because everything ended up working out in that time, to where Jehovah was like, all right, look, now it's time for you to go. Because the Israelites was ready, Moses was ready, and that combination is a mathematical equation. They had to be ready for this. So when he decided, yo, this is what it is. This is where I'm going to send you. I'm going to be with you. Moses had to be in a place in his life where he was like, it's not me. Because at that point, that's when God is like, look, it is you. I know you had it in you, but I needed you to break down all of that bravado. I needed you to break down all of that pride. I needed you to break down all of that ego, because you had a lot in you. Now, what's really interesting is there's a part of this story that I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset about. It really messed me up. And I was, for a long time, I couldn't understand what was that about. And I'm gonna get to that in a second. But he dropped all of that egoic bravado stuff, and that's when he was able to fully be used, because he obviously had too much of it to be able to be used. And as he goes through all of these different things, parting the Red Sea, writing the Ten Commandments, watching the Israelites jump back and forth from saying they want to serve God, making golden calves, doing all of this stuff, he had to be humble enough to follow direction in those particular circumstances. And those circumstances are not easy. Like, he was in a major leadership position. Those circumstances are not easy to just try and lead people through, especially if they, are hard-headed, for lack of better words. If they straight hard-headed, or if they being complete goofballs, it's like you get saved and then you turn around because it's taking too long of you getting a response, and then you flip back to the same nonsense that you was on when you wasn't supposed to be on that. Now, again, this relates to us, because it's like, man, I feel like I understand the Israelites. I feel like I understand Moses' position. It's like, You know, you could try and tell somebody something over and over and over again, and they can get it, and then they can turn right back around and not get it. And then you can be told something over and over and over again, and you can get it, but then you got that inclination to just go back into old habits. And that's just what it is. So we got to pay attention more to the training, the emphasis of why that long. It's because it took that long to fully dissipate all of that extra that God didn't need you to be having. He didn't need all of that. And sometimes that's what we got to realize. He don't need all that extra. You may have it, and that's cool, but he don't need you to be throwing it out there, to be going ahead. He needs you to be able to just be chill and listen, follow directions. Be humble enough to just follow the lead, follow the whispers. Okay? So the thing that I said I was upset about, is Moses did some miraculous stuff, man. He did, again, like I said, pardon the Red Sea, all of the freaking plagues and things that Jehovah used him to do. It's an amazing story. You should really, really dive into it, man, if you get an opportunity. But at the very end of it, when they get to the land, I mean, right outside the land of milk and honey, the Israelites make this dude mad one more time. And this is the killer. They make him mad one more time. And what happens after all of those miraculous things that he did? He snapped right back into his 20s or his teens, or whatever time frame that was where he killed the Egyptian. He actually snapped right back into that moment. And let's look at it because it's going to trip you out. Chapter 17, y'all. Exodus chapter 17. Let's get deep. Chapter 17. The entire assembly of the Israelites departed from the wilderness of sin by stages according to the order of Jehovah, and they camped at Rephidim. But there was no water for the people to drink. Verse 2. So the people began quarreling with Moses. It should say again. They began quarreling with Moses again and saying, "Give us water to drink." But Moses said to them, "Why are you quarreling with me? Why do you keep putting Jehovah to the test?" But the people were very thirsty for water there, and they kept murmuring against Moses and saying, "Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our sons and our livestock with thirst?" What? What? So look, finally Moses cried out to Jehovah, "What should I do with this people? A little longer and they will stone me." Then Jehovah said to Moses, "Go ahead of the people and take with you some of the elders of Israel, and your rod with which you struck the Nile River, take it in your hand and walk on. Look, I will be standing before you there on the rock in Horeb. You must strike the rock, and water will come out of it, and the people will drink it." Moses did so before the eyes of the elders of Israel. So that was the first preview. Now we gonna fast forward, because there was a whole bunch of stuff that went down. The same thing ends up happening, but it's a little bit different. So let's go to Numbers chapter 20, verse 3. The people were quarreling with Moses, saying, "If only we had died when our brothers died before Jehovah. Why have you brought Jehovah's congregation into this wilderness for us and our livestock to die here?" And why have you led us up out of Egypt to bring us into this evil place? It is no place for seed and figs and vines and pomegranates, and there is no water to drink. Then Moses and Aaron came from before the congregation to the entrance of the tent of meeting and fell with their faces to the ground, and Jehovah's glory began to appear to them. Then Jehovah said to Moses, "Take the rod and call the assembly together, you and Aaron your brother, and speak to the crag before their eyes, that it may give its water. And you will bring out water for them from the crag, and give the assembly and their livestock something to drink." Now remember, we just talked about something similar to this. So something just like this just happened. Well, not just happened, but we see that there was a initial challenge to overcome, and he did. He overcame it, Moses in particular. But then verse 9, so Moses took the rod from before Jehovah, just as he had commanded him. Then Moses and Aaron called the congregation together before the crag, and he said to them, "Hear now, you rebels. Must we bring out water for you from this crag? Must we bring out water for you from this crag?" With that, Moses lifted his hand up and struck the crag twice with his rod, and much water began to pour out, and the assembly and their livestock began to drink. Verse 12. Jehovah later said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you did not show faith in me and sanctify me before the eyes of the people Israel, you will not bring this congregation into the land that I will give them." Look, man, I'm telling you, if you read Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, if you read everything and you see what Moses had to go through, you will be tripped out by this decision. There's no way you can't be tripped out, man. There's just no way you can't be tripped out. This man went through a whole bunch of bickering and nonsense and arguing and crying, and every single time there was something he had to do, he asked God, "Hey, they asking this." God was like, "Here, do this." Moses did it. I'm talking about every single time. And this one time, he went outside, he went out of bounds. This one time he went out of bounds. He was like, "Should we bring water out of this crag? You rebel," like his whole attitude. "Here now, you rebels." He was sick of them. He was sick of them. He was sick of them. And that's what I'm saying. Like, some people, man, and he was doing nothing but helping these people over and over and over again, man. This is crazy, dude. He was helping them people over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. He finally got sick of it, and he said, "Listen, rebels, listen." If you want to put it in modern language, he was like, "Look, man, look, you look, busters, listen here, man, because y'all getting on my nerves. We gonna bring this water off of y'all gonna shut up." That's what he wanted to say. I'm telling you, when you read it and you really dive into it, his attitude, I get how it's written, man. But if we bring it in some modern language, he was like, "Look, man, y'all about to shut up, for real. Like, I'm tired of it. I'm completely tired of it." And he just for a second went back into, "I'm him. That's how serious this is, y'all. He was like, you can't go into the promised land. Now, that's not to say that Moses is not going to end up having, I mean, he has a position. He has an eternal position. So it's not to say that he still isn't, highly favored. It's just that in that fleshly zone, you can't see it, bro. That still hurts bad. That still hurts bad. That hurts me bad, man. I'm just like, wow. After all of that, this dude rescues some people that are completely ungrateful for the most part. Man, and I'm telling you, all of the stuff he goes through in between that after he saves them is insane. It's insane. To where you would be like, man, give him one pass for just, but it was that serious. It was that serious. That's why he had to wait 40 years. Because it was that serious. It's something that God can see in Moses. Maybe what he would have been able to do or capable of or misuse. That he was like, you gonna wait. You gonna wait. They gonna wait. We all gonna wait till you ready. And he finally was ready. But he got broke down, man. He got broke down. And that's so crazy to say that you got to keep going. You can't get broke down. You can't get broke down, man. You're going to continue to get used and abused. And you have to continue to rely on God for strength. And just bring it to him every time. Bring it to him. Man, they doing this. Bring it to him. Man, they getting on my nerves. Bring it to him. Every time. Every single time. You got to just bring it to him. That's the lesson. And he brought it to him. But then after he brought it to him, he acted like it was him. That's the problem. That's the problem. You got to give the credit where the credit is due. That's the ultimate conclusion to this. So you can't never think it's you. It ain't never you. It's always God. It's never you. It's never us. It's never me. It's always God. If you get anything from this, it's God. It's not me. I'm just being used. That's it. So I hope you enjoyed that, because I thoroughly enjoyed that story. I'll definitely read it again now, because man, I gotta read it again, because this just got me tripping, man. I'm like, man, that story was crazy, man. That story was crazy. To go through all of that, that's wild. But yeah, shoot me a comment. Let me know what you think. All right. Help out, support. Get some gear. If you like what I'm doing, if you want to help support me, go to www.mindsetmattersmore.store. Take a look at the website. Got the storefront. And if you want some beneficial information, I'm sending out monthly emails, newsletters about your physical, mental, emotional health. Some beneficial things that might help you out. Just reminders for some, but some may not know the type of information I'm sending out. They might not even have known that it existed. And so I'm providing that. So yeah, sign up at www.mindsetmattersmore.net. Sign up for the email list. Jump on in. Get the blog updates. So on and popping. All right. But yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, all of the above, so you can help us build. Let's get it.